Menara City, one condo put under EMCO until 13th of April. Prihatin package helps people, businesses tied over COVID-19. Good afternoon, you're watching Updates at Noon. I'm Brendan Lipol. The Menara City 1 on Jalan Munshi Abdullah in Kuala Lumpur is placed under the Enhanced Movement Control Order EMCO until 13th of April. This is the third EMCO enforced by the government to contain the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Senior Minister Security Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the EMCO in Menara City 1 involves 3,200 residents at 502 condominium units and business premises in the tower. He said the decision was made after the Health Ministry had confirmed 17 COVID-19 infections at the residential tower. Elaborating further, the Senior Minister said, besides preventing the virus from spreading, the EMCO will also enable case detection activity to be carried out at all units. During the implementation of the EMCO, residents are barred from leaving the area and visitors are not allowed to enter the building. However, residents are allowed to order foods that will be delivered to the main entrance at the building. He said a medical base will be opened in the area while all access points to the building will be closed. The area will be under the control of the Royal Malaysia Police, the Malaysian Armed Forces, the Malaysia Civil Defence Force and the People's Volunteer Corps. Meanwhile, more roadblocks can be expected in the coming days as part of the government's stricter enforcement measures beginning tomorrow. As of now, the number of roadblocks at toll plazas throughout the country has been increased from 23 to 65. This would be further expanded to 114 toll plazas. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said that a total of 828 individuals were arrested during police patrols and at roadblocks across the country for flouting the movement control order.
PDRM telah menahan 828 individu di sekatan jalan raya dan juga rondaan PDRM kerana melanggar PKP ini. PDRM dan ATM, Angkatan Tentera, telah mengadakan sebanyak 1,520 sekatan jalan raya dan melakukan pemeriksaan terhadap 257,287 kenderaan.
He said overall 67,774 personnel were on duty to enforce the MCO and that more would be mobilized if needed. Selangor Police will increase the number of road closures in several areas in stages to reduce crowd movement during the Movement Control Order MCO period. As of now, several roads in Kota Damansara and Petaling Jaya had been closed for the last few days and road closures in other areas would be announced from time to time. State Deputy Police Chief Dato' Arjunaidi Muhammad said so far 4 roads have been closed, adding that it will allow police to filter and control public movement.
Dan saya juga telah arahkan beberapa KPD untuk membuat rancangan bagi penutupan jalan-jalan tertentu. Walau bagaimanapun kita akan buat pengumuman kita akan memaklumkan jalan-jalan berkenaan kepada orang ramai. Okay? So kita minta orang ramai untuk memberi kerjasama. Memang agak menyusahkan, mungkin terpaksa melalui jalan yang jauh, tetapi hakikatnya kita nak kawal, kawal pergerakan untuk kepentingan kita semua, bukan untuk orang lain.
He was speaking at Ops COVID-19 press conference in Shah Alam. Commenting further on the MCO in Selangor, Dato' Arjunaidi said that since its implementation on 18 March until Sunday, a total of 364 arrests had been made with regard to not complying with the order, and of the total, 114 were foreigners. 8 of those arrested have been charged in court under Section 186 of the Penal Code and Section 7, Subsection 1 of the Prevention and Control of Infectious Diseases, Measures within the Local Infected Areas 2020. Malaysians must work together and practice social discipline in order to flatten the COVID-19 infection curve. In making this call, Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said that in the past 2 weeks, Malaysia had recorded around 150 to 200 positive COVID-19 cases daily, and the Ministry of Health, MOH, had been monitoring the trend closely to ensure there is no exponential spike.
Now, I think we have completed the 2 weeks, right? So another 2 weeks to go. So it's up to us and all of us actually. If all of us comes together as one, and then we practice and embrace that you stay at home, and we, Ministry of Health, we will continue our public health activities, active case detection, and increased testing and testing and testing, finding the targeted group. For example, we identified a few targeted groups, like for Jemaah Tabligh, for example, and Tafiz School, and a certain party, or even Rohingyas, and etc. So we have the identification of some of the groups. So we are targeting them, and to basically targeting them to test them, so that if we can actually isolate them early, and then we can actually break the chain of COVID-19 transmission in this country. So the next 2 weeks is all up to you and me now. So if we can all have social discipline, if we have a social discipline, I'm sure we can actually flatten the curve.
Dr. Noor Hisham pointed out that Malaysia had 150 to 200 new cases each day, with 8 positive cases in 100 tests, which he described as stable. He gave his thanks to the Health Ministry's active case detection, as Malaysia had not recorded any exponential spike like 900 to 1,000 cases in one day. The disinfection operation to curb the spread of COVID-19, which was previously carried out at several high-risk areas, was intensified with massive operations nationwide. The operation, entrusted to the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, KPKT, is one of the approaches adopted by the government to break the chain of infection, other than the implementation of the Movement Control Order, the MCO. In Terengganu, about 40 officers and personnel from various state agencies carried out a similar operation around Kuala Terengganu City, including the Pasar Besar Kedai Payang, Gong Pao Wholesale Market, Kuala Terengganu City Council Bus Stop, financial institutions, and several major supermarkets. The operation was also focused on the residential quarters, mosque and madrasah areas in Kampung Gubang Bujo, where about 300 people, including their families, are housed and are undergoing voluntary quarantine. In Negeri Sembilan, State JBPM Director Hamdan Ali headed the sanitation operation in the Seremban district, which has the highest number of COVID-19 positive cases in the state. The operation was also focused on housing areas and public gathering places like Pancor Jaya in Ampangan, Taman Desa Orchid, Taman Seri Pagi, Taman Desa Melo, and Taman Desa Anggrek in Senawang. In Perak, the state JBPM intensified the sanitation process in several public locations in Kinta and Hile Perak, which is under the red zone. Among others, Ipoh Railway Station, Bus Station and Mosque. The operation was carried out by 30 personnel from JBPM's Hazardous Materials Unit, HAZMAT, and local authorities. Meanwhile, 50 trained SWM environment staff carried out the public sanitation process in Johor. The joint disinfection was conducted at the main roads of villages in 2 red zone areas, Kampung Sinaran Baru, Kempas, and Kampung Dato' Ibrahim Majid in Simpang Renggam, Kluang. The sanitation process also was done over the traffic light poles, street lamp posts, and other public facilities. While in Labuan, the disinfection operation was carried out by 60 personnel from JBPM, Malaysian Civil Defence Force, Labuan Corporation and State Health Department. The Labuan JBPM Director Ismadi Ismail led the operation, which was conducted at Labuan UTC Central Market. 40 individuals were charged at the Johor Bahru Magistrate Court yesterday for flouting the Movement Control Order (MCO) meant to curb the spread of COVID-19 and obstructing civil servants from performing duties. 7 of them pleaded guilty for both the charges, while 30 others pleaded guilty to defying the MCO. Magistrate Mohammadul Hilmi Ibrahim meted out jail sentences between 10 and 15 days and fined about 400 to 500 ringgit for all the 30 individuals. Meanwhile, all the accused who obstructed civil servant from carrying out their duties were fined 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit. According to the charge sheet, they were charged for violating the MCO and was moving from one place to another. Deputy Public Prosecutor Chai Ing Hian prosecuted, while all the accused were unrepresented. Meanwhile, arrest warrant will also be issued for another 7 individuals who failed to turn up to the court. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin yesterday visited the Quarantine and Treatment Centre for Low-Risk COVID-19 patients at the Malaysia Agro Exposition Park, Serdang MAEPS in Serdang. Now, he was accompanied by Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba, Ministry of Health MOH Secretary General Datuk Sri Dr. Chen Chaw Min, and Health Director General Datuk Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah. Tan Sri Muhyiddin, who arrived at the centre at 5:45 p.m, spent almost an hour being briefed and touring the centre, which was successfully prepared for operations by various government agencies under the coordination of the National Disaster Management Agency NADMA within 3 days. The centre has the capacity to place up to 600 patients at any one time, and it will be coordinated by NADMA with the cooperation of the MOH, the Armed Forces, the Fire and Rescue Department, the Civil Defence Force, the Social Welfare Department, and the Public Works Department. Among others, it will provide clinical services, COVID-19 wards, resuscitation areas to stabilize patients during emergencies, as well as ambulance, pharmacy, pathology laboratory services. For those on duty, there are nurse stations, treatment resuscitation room, rest areas, changing rooms and bath, including for the donning and doffing of personal protective equipment, PPE, as well as meeting and seminar rooms. The recently unveiled Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package, or Prihatin, can help alleviate the burden of the people and businesses, especially small and medium enterprises (SMEs), in countering the COVID-19 impact. Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said the 600 million ringgit allocation for free internet service would help the telecommunications and multimedia industry as a whole. In a statement, the minister said the additional allocation of 400 million ringgit to increase network coverage and capacity to maintain high availability and quality of telecommunications and multimedia networks will certainly assist in the development of the country's digital economy sector. He also said that the Prihatin package was in line with the ministry's call to micro enterprises and SMEs to switch to digital platforms and ensure business continuity during the Movement Control Order (MCO) due to COVID-19. Meanwhile, Malaysia's Digital Economy Corporation (MDEC) Chief Executive Officer Surina Shukri said the third trust, which provides 500 million ringgit in grants under the microcredit scheme to help micro entrepreneurs, including the creative industry and online traders, will further accelerate growth in both MDEC's main focused areas. She also welcomed the 500 ringgit one-off assistance to 1,200 e-hailing drivers with an allocation of 60 million ringgit, as it will provide more opportunities for workers in gig economy who are now feeling the economic impact on their income. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin on the 27th of March unveiled the Prihatin package worth 250 billion ringgit to protect the welfare of the people and support businesses, including SMEs, to blunt the COVID-19 impact. Employees of the Finance or Human Resources Division in the private sector are allowed to work for a day to process payroll in accordance with the law. According to the Human Resources Ministry, only 2 employees are allowed for this purpose during the implementation of the Movement Control Order (MCO). In a statement, the ministry said these employees are allowed to enter the office on either 31st March or the 1st of April. For this, the employer is required to provide a letter or a release document and authorization for these employees to be at their workplace. The release letter or document must include the employee's full name and identity card number, as well as the employer's telephone number for verification purposes. This letter will facilitate their movements to the workplace if the authorities ask for it. Malaysia has called for a broader scientific approach to get the world ready to face the next pandemic, which will go beyond the medical sciences. Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Khairi Jamaluddin, pointed out that the scientific approach also included social, behavioral and data scientists, since pandemics have grave social consequences. The minister mooted the idea in the UNESCO's virtual ministerial dialogue on COVID-19 and open science held on Monday, as he updated other science ministers on developments unfolding in Malaysia. In his Twitter account, Khairi wrote that he also raised the urgent need to create an international repository, not just of medical research, but also technological innovations such as successful reverse engineering to produce essential equipment, which would be open source. Malaysia also raised the need to allow open source for application designed to assist contact tracing and best practices on balancing the effectiveness of these applications and personal data privacy. The minister also told the audience that the country also sought the experience of other countries on the development of rapid test kits, which do not have the same accuracy rates as the RT-PCR test, which is the gold standard but takes longer. The Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, Musa Ada COVID-19 Fund received 1 million ringgit from Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, bringing the total collection to 1.5 million ringgit since its launch on the 24th of March. According to Minister, the Prime Minister's Department of Religious Affairs, Senator Datuk Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri, the contribution was distributed in various forms for the benefit of those affected during the movement control order.
March kita lancarkan tabung musaadah, jumlahnya cukup memberansangkan. Begitu juga kita cuba untuk sentiasa aliran masuk dan keluar itu sentiasa berlaku untuk disantuni kepada yang memerlukan, yang semua pihak. Walau macam mana pun kita juga akan tengok mereka yang utama yang patut kita utamakannya.
At the event, the minister presented part of the fund collection to the frontliners from the Ministry of Health, Muslims Funeral Preparation Team, and those from B40 Group who are affected by the pandemic. Those who wish to donate may do so via the account number displayed. Today's updates at noon. In our top story, Menara City 1 condo put under EMCO until the 13th of April. Now, News on 2 comes on at 7 this evening. Till next time, I'm Brendan Lepol. I'll catch you then. Bye-bye.